problems we face today are different from the ones we faced many years ago. Heart disease, cancer, and stroke are the top 3 leading causes of death. We know that what's really causing these deaths are tobacco use, physical inactivity, and poor diets. As public health professionals, your goals are to prevent disease, prolong life, and promote health through organized effort. The problem is that it's really hard to get people to make the right choice. Human behavior is complicated. That's why I believe in this time where behavior has become so important to public health that psychology has become more useful than ever. Public health and psychology should now go hand in hand to solve this problem. Large programs implemented by the government, like DARE and abstinence-only sex ed, have been proven to be ineffective at changing unsafe behaviors. These programs are fueled more by political motivation than by scientific research. Psychologists have identified 6 common errors that policymakers make when thinking about changing human behavior. The first error is appealing to what sounds like common sense. The second error is thinking that changing health behavior is only a matter of getting the right message across. The third error is thinking that only knowledge and information drive behavior. The fourth error is assuming that people act rationally and do what they know to be logical after being shown evidence. The fifth error is assuming that people always act irrationally. This dismisses people who do not change behavior as foolish, and many other factors influence their behavior. The final error is thinking that it is possible to accurately predict behavior. In reality, it is still difficult to say with certainty how individuals will act in any given situation. When thinking of ways to get people to live healthier lifestyles, it's important to not rely on common sense or assumptions of what people will listen to. It is also very important to understand these people's own perspectives, why they do what they do, rather than looking at it from the scientific observer's perspective. A useful model to use is the ABC behavioral change model. This model works on the notion that behavior is caused by preceding conditions. The model begins when a behavior, B, occurs. Working backwards, it tries to look back and find what caused that behavior, A, then figures out the consequence, C, of B, the behavior. To summarize, behaviors are triggered by previous conditions, and that looking at these conditions will allow you to explain why the behavior is occurring. Another strategy that has been developed by psychology is called nudging. Nudging is any aspect of the choice architecture, aka physical, social, and psychological context in which our choices take place, that alters people's behaviors in a predictable way without forbidding any options or significantly changing incentives. An example of a nudge would be putting healthier items in the grocery store at eye level on the shelf, and unhealthy items on the bottom or top. Nudge works on the theory that behavior is driven by automatic responses that rarely require cognitive thought. These responses are triggered by the environment. Therefore, through the manipulation of small environmental cues, behavior can be changed more effectively. As public health professionals, many of you will be interested in creating effective programs and getting policies passed. Public health professionals rarely work alone. Group dynamics and teamwork, a part of social psychology, play a role in the development of programs and conducting research in public health. One problem that you will most likely have to deal with is conflict. Research has shown that conflict can be either beneficial or detrimental to teamwork, depending on the type of conflict. Conflict is defined as the perception by parties involved of differences, discrepancies, and incompatible wishes. There are 3 different types of conflict that can arise in a group. Task-related conflict, which is disagreement over ideas and opinions on tasks, relationship conflict over personal issues, and process conflict, disagreement over delegation. Task-related conflict can lead to effective decision-making and teamwork, while relational and process conflict can lead to negative emotions. If there is no clear distribution of power in a group, this can lead to competitiveness over power. Process conflict is also more likely when there is a disagreement over the power distribution in a group. When a group is formed to deal with a public health issue, individuals are likely to come in with pre-existing perceptions of power distribution and conflict in the group. This is because, as a multidisciplinary field, public health issues are usually solved by working with a variety of people. PPPs will form based on individuals' personal and professional histories. Help-seeking behavior, a process which improves problem-solving, decision-making, and performance, can be affected by power and conflict. Power can affect whether a group member feels comfortable enough to ask for help. Speaking up is another important process that can be ruined by conflict, because voicing opinions to people requires a psychologically safe environment. If the group environment does not feel safe, then ideas, knowledge, and insights can be withheld, thus hurting the project. Empathy and perspective-taking behavior can also be hurt by power and conflict. People of higher power have more difficulty taking into account other people's thoughts and feelings. So in conclusion, assess the distribution of power in the group and try to spread it more evenly, or make sure that you have a good leader who will keep people on task, facilitate discussion, and create a psychologically safe space. Conflict management that is active in addressing disagreements and resolving them is also helpful.